What's up, guys? Dad Dash here, and wanted to talk to you guys today about a topic here that kind of wanted to expand on here a little bit. I put videos out kind of touching on it, mentioned it in some of the videos, but that is, I wanted to talk about that each driver is a market of one. And what do I mean by that? Because it's this concept, the market of one concept. If you understand this, you're going to get an edge on everybody else, because it is the most misunderstood thing about gig work, and that is the idea that our market, and the market meaning the market we work in, the overall market, whatever, that we are competing against other drivers, other places, and that somehow the actions of other drivers impact what we do. And that is not true, guys. And one way I realize this is because my wife and I she works with me sometimes. She doesn't do a lot of work. Like I said, she's only probably done like 50 some DoorDash orders. She's had a few accounts, right? And that I have, right? So I've been able to see at times when we're working together, because she doesn't like to work alone, so she'll work with me. And we've been able to look at and see dueling orders. In other words, orders coming through or contract offers coming through. And I've been able to see, all right, this is the same contract that was sent to me and it's different. And the biggest way I saw this develop was when we were door dashing together, and orders would come to my phone, right, first, and they would be at again, I'm someone who keeps track of stats, so I know my averages, my average offers, my average acceptance, my average decline. I'm keeping track of these things, right? And I know my averages, and I noticed that I would get offers close to those averages, right? And then the same offer would come through and be more. Sometimes it would go to her phone first at a higher amount and then come to my phone next at a lower amount, but it would be close to my average. And then there's a great book out that I encourage everyone to look at and read and assess the information in it. It's called Full Dash Closure by Jeff Thomas Black. Excellent book. I'm reading it along with him as he puts it out on Substack. It's a great read. I recommend everyone read it. Because he really challenges your thoughts and challenges your mind on what on what to think about these apps. But in that information that he presents, he validated some of my feelings that I'd had for a while. And then as I look deeper into this, that's exactly right. When you go into the agreements and the documents and you dig deeper into these apps, you'll see that their purpose is absolutely not to go out and create markets of drivers. Their goal is to create a market of one, and that's you. So when you go out and you start feeding the algorithm and you start feeding the system, you're creating your own market. So thereby, the offer you see has no relevance or bearing to the next driver that will see that offer. You may see a $7 5-mile order. The algorithm has information that it believes this is the order presented this way, presented that way, will get you to accept it. While the next driver may see a $9 5-mile order because the information in the system says that's how it needs to be. They're looking to figure out what you individually will do or need to see in order to hit accept. And they're going to continually send you information to respond to. And your response to that information, which is normally accept, decline, as you feed the algorithm that information, it's going to make determinations. Now, its goal is to figure out how little they need to pay you to get out the door. So the math will then make sense. So for instance, take it like this. If you're willing to accept $7 orders, because like for instance, my main market, my preferred market is a $3 base pay market. I know DoorDash will show $4 tips. It's low mileage market. So I do a lot of $7 3 mile, $7 4 mile orders. I mean, it's just standard. As a result, the algorithm has a profile on me that I see a lot of $7 orders. And even when I leave that market, even when I come down to my $2.25 market, which is my home market, I still will see a lot of $7 orders because it knows, or it believes it knows, that I like $7 orders. As I reprogrammed that and said, you know what, let me try over time. And again, this is not something you reprogram in 5 turndowns. I mean, this is you've got to start feeding it new information. And at first it's going to be confused and it's going to keep sending you stuff, and you got to be willing to sit there and hit decline, and then you hit accept on. You begin to reprogram it. And then I show up back in my preferred market and I'm getting $12, $13, $14 orders. Now here's the thing. If you're going to try to do that, what I'm talking about, where you're trying to reprogram it, you've got to have other options out there. So you've got to have other apps working for you that you can find work to fill in the gaps when you're turning down orders over here. So you can still go to work and make money, because otherwise you will sit and you will take a hit financially for a little while you're turning down stuff, because the algorithm is going to keep sending you the things it thinks you're going to accept. And in over a couple of 100 turndowns, right, it's going to start to go, okay, wait a minute. Now the profile's changing. He's accepting $10 orders now, $10 orders, $10. And it's going to start to do that because, again, you are a market of one. You are the market. What you're doing, what you tell it needs, it's going to adjust to. It's the loophole of all loopholes. It's the reason why they have all these, why DoorDash and Grubhub and all these programs have programs and incentives built around acceptance rate, because they know that if every driver decided we want $10 orders, eventually, if you just held steady and true to that, the algorithm, because it's an algorithm, it's a computerized algorithm, it's going to learn. It's going to go, okay, you're a $10 driver. We're going to figure out how to make these orders $10, whether that's finding large tip, low base pay, or they say, well, we got to bump the base pay up a little bit, but we're going to get this driver working, because the only goal of the algorithm is this driver needs to go work and make money. And this driver only makes money when he's delivering and fulfilling contracts. So until he's driving, he's active and not making us money. And there's so much money in these contracts that, again, these companies can't afford to pay you more. It's just they know they make more money when you deliver for less. And when they can get a customer to tip you $10 and they can still pay you $2 base pay or $2.25 base pay or $3 base pay, whatever the minimum is, they've been able to pay the minimum out, and then they get to keep all the other money above that. And the customer's tip didn't affect any of that. It didn't cost them a dime to get the customer to tip you $10 or $5 or $20, right? And they get to keep the money. And on a no-tip order, because you might believe, well, I've got to deliver some of these no-tip orders. I got to take some of these $2 or $3 hits. So I'll do it because I need to get my acceptance rate up. They're making buco bucks because you just took a $3 order. The algorithm said, okay, this person will do it. But what you don't realize is the more you hit accept on those lower orders, the more you're going to see. And that's why DoorDash, the biggest tell in the book that this is what's happening is when DoorDash tells you that they're classifying a high-paying order not as a $10, to me, a high-paying order is the amount you're paying me, right? No, not DoorDash. What do they tell you? A high-paying order is the miles to money ratio. So they say, hey, $4, 1 mile, that's a high-paying order. In DoorDash's world, go deliver 7 of those orders and you get over $25 an hour. And guess what? You're only going to have 7 miles delivered. Well, is that really realistic? Are you really going to be able to do it? You're stopping, you're starting your car, you're running around ragged, you're maybe they stack a couple of them together to help you get to that margin. Is that working as efficiently as saying, no, wait a minute, why don't I just hold out? Decline. DoorDash wants me to work. They want me to work. They want me to get more order volume up. And remember, every one of those orders, DoorDash wants you to volumize, right? Or any of these apps want you to volumize. Not because it works for you, but because it works for them. Because if they have an average of, say, $10 in fees on every single order, and they get you to deliver 7 orders an hour to make your $25 to $26 to $27 an hour, they're making $70, as opposed to if you do 2 orders an hour, they're only making 2 orders, so maybe that's $10. They're only making $20. So for them, their model is to get you to deliver more and to figure out how can we get this driver to see these orders as more valuable, to volumize. And they know that the only person that wins out when you're delivering 7 orders an hour or 5 orders an hour or 4 orders an hour is them, because you're not making more. You're still making the $25. They're making more money an hour because they're getting the orders delivered, more orders delivered, because they're the ones earning per order and earning their fees regardless. And they blur that. You're not seeing that because all you're thinking about is tip and the $2 or $3 base pay. Now, again, the tip means nothing to DoorDash. All that means to them is if you're willing to do $2.25, if you're willing to deliver 5 $2.25 orders that have, a tip ranging from, $3 to $5 to $10, at the end of that hour, you make $40 or $35 with tips and everything. You're happy, but they're even happier because they just paid you out minimum amounts cost, and they just collected all the rest of the fees from the restaurant, from the customer, and they're happy as pie because you were just out there working and driving 4, 5, 6 orders in that hour, making them a huge amount of money. And again, it didn't make you necessarily more money because you still made your whatever the hourly was you wanted to make by driving those orders through, but they're profiting. So again, you have to understand this. So that's why they encourage you to take that, or that's why they call high paying orders, miles to money orders, where they're getting lower payouts, but it's 4 to 1 miles to money, right? That's high paying to them. It's not high paying to you. You're better off going and saying, okay, let me communicate to the algorithm and let this algorithm know that, listen, I'm not working for less than $10 an order. The algorithm will adjust, and DoorDash can't do anything about it because their goal, as long as you're active on the platform, is to find you an order. And eventually they're going to start finding you orders at that price point, at that miles to money price point, and you're going to go to work. The key is, and what they're banking on is that you're psychologically not going to get through that process. And if you're only using DoorDash, you won't make it through that process because you will be worried about making money. So you will start accepting things lower than what you would normally do. And then the algorithm takes that information, and then you're getting it mirrored back from the algorithm, orders back to you again. So you accept the $7 order because you feel like you got to. Next thing you know, another $7 order comes. Another $7 order comes. The magic behind that is they're going to hide a tip on 1 or 2 of those, but they know you're going to get the tip hidden on one. Maybe they add an extra $1, maybe they add an extra $3. And then for everyone you have a hidden tip, you're going to have probably 2 or 3 that won't hide. And your average hourly amount, maybe you do 3 orders an hour, you might range anywhere from $21 to say $30 an hour. It's going to range based on the hidden tips, but they will eventually begin sending you a majority of your orders at that range, $7, $7.25, $6.75. And again, you're starting to see the hidden tips will start to fall off. And then as you maybe start declining a lot of orders or moving around, it'll throw a hidden tip in there. The algorithm will start trying to adjust and start trying to see what it can do to bring you back in or understand what you're doing or where your mindsets went. So anyways, guys, the point of what I'm trying to make is you are a market of one. You and only you matter in what you do when you're working these apps. And that's every app. That's Uber, that's DoorDash, that's Grubhub. So make sure you are paying attention to what you're doing. Make sure you know your value and what you want to make. Make sure you understand how many orders you want to do an hour and what you need to make per order, and then go after it and be patient, be vigilant, have multiple apps to help you out through the downtimes as you start to try to move these algorithms towards your needs, okay? And be patient and let it develop. And I promise you, you will absolutely see results that you never thought you would see, and that you end up seeing better results, okay, than you ever would if you're accepting every single order, which will hold you back in the end, because you're going to have these low orders come through, and you're just going to have it happen because it has to happen, because you're accepting 70, 80, 90%, 50%, 60% of these orders. So you're going to be taking orders that are lower than what your expectations are. Anyways, guys, hopefully this makes sense to you. I hope it does. Leave me a comment. Any questions? As always, stay safe, stay profitable, guys, and I will talk to you soon.